Get ready for FanFlow, the ultimate way to experience live music. With FanFlow, you become a part of the show. Connect and share with fellow fans who love the music as much as you. Control what you hear, control what you see, and record it so you can relive those amazing performances wherever and whenever you want. Before the show, you decide the playlist and interact with the venue. During the show, you share your experience, buy what you're hearing, and hear what you want. FanFlow gives you the superpowers you wish you could have at a live performance so you become a part of the experience and connect with your favorite performers.
Amazing! Welcome to Lionfist. Lionfist. Lionfist Live. It's like a lion roars. Duh.
Don't get it.
Bringing you a bunch of random stuff today.
I really don't care. No, really. I don't care.
Keeping things relevant every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific time here on Lionfist Live. This is Lionfist, only on iFluxy.
Seriously?
Hey boys and girls, welcome to Lionfist Live on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Here to talk some business. Just want to start off by saying I appreciate all the love, the support that everybody's been giving to iFluxy and to me, and everything that is going on is wonderful, beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. I could never be more appreciative of all the abundance that everybody's bringing me, and I think it's important that everybody that has a entrepreneurial mindset kind of grasps onto the positivity that is out there. It's right in front of us all, and that's kind of what I'm here to discuss today, and the importance of understanding how the business breakthrough actually comes. We all sit there and strive day in and day out as entrepreneurs to go ahead and find that breakthrough, and I'm just going to go off on this a little bit today. I'm going to do a little freestyling, but I think it's important that we kind of keep in mind the value of positivity and being able to push forward with the full support of others around us, accepting it when it's there, and kind of just going with that. Now, I am going to tell you today that iFluxy is a beautiful, beautiful little project of mine. If you have not been following, it is an app that I'm developing and also a new media production company. We are working hard here. We've got a large team of people behind us working hard at developing not just the software, but also the production. In the near future, I've got something that I'm working on here with Senegear, as well as HDSLR Shooter, a great company, a little startup endeavor with a couple amazing producers. We are pushing forward, and really my breakthrough that I'm talking about here, everybody else's breakthrough, it's kind of what's going on with me, and it's taken me at least five years to really understand that the breakthrough has taken me that long. It started about 5 years ago, and now since I've seen that and grasped onto it. It's here. I've harnessed it, and I've never let anybody talk me down from the breakthrough that I saw 5 years ago, and now it's all starting to come to fruition. Thank God it's finally starting to come to fruition, because I've kind of been feeling like I was on my last limb. Have dealt with the founder's depression, have dealt with being beat down with everybody's words, everybody telling me that I wasn't doing it right. Here's the truth and the reality. As entrepreneurs, we need to recognize that everybody's going to be telling us that their way is the right way, and let's face reality here and acknowledge the fact that there is no right way to go ahead and accomplish your dreams and your goals, and that holds even more true for business. It is something that when you have a plan and you just work and have the drive, the dedication, and the persistence, you are going to excel. There is nothing that is going to stop you. I know it didn't stop me. I've been without shelter. I've been without food. I've been without money. I've been without basically any resource you can think of except for me, which you need to acknowledge. Your greatest resource is yourself. It's your drive and your persistence, and it's everything that you find when you dig down deep inside. And it takes a lot. 98% of the time, it takes a lot to dig down and find it. But it's there. I can guarantee you it's there. If you can acknowledge that your breakthrough is something that might hurt a little bit. It might hurt a lot. I know it hurt a lot for me, and the process has been a very, very difficult one. And I've got to keep myself in check a majority of days, just because it doesn't always feel like a breakthrough. But your breakthrough really is going to be one of the most sacrificial points. It's going to be one of your most painful decisions that you have to make. And for me, I had to make 5 years ago a decision to really put it out there with my friends that if I was going to be doing this, they needed to understand that my time was going to be dedicated to my career and my business. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a film and media producer. I know I kind of put it out there with what iFluxy is, but myself, I've been working on as an associate producer and executive producer. I've done a lot of design work. I've done a lot out there, and sometimes I've kind of crossed my design work over to get some credits to kind of help out with being able to bring some relevance to what I'm doing outside of that. Now, what I'm doing here with iFluxy and Lionfist Live is something a little bit more on the hobby side in a lot of ways, but where I'm able to bring it because of what I'm doing right now, I'm able to really prove my knowledge. And this is something that a lot of you could do if you want to get into production. You can give me a call, a text message, whatever. If you have my phone number, send me a Facebook message. It doesn't really matter. I'm here to help and give advice. Some things I can't do for free because this is my profession. This is what I do. So I hope you can kind of understand that. But I am here to help. I love supporting people's efforts. I'm here to share in your successes, and I'd love to share my successes with you, not just live, not just on Facebook, not in a braggadocious way. I'm here to celebrate in all of my successes because I want to share all of my opportunities with everybody out there. So if any of you have any tech ideas, any production ideas, anything like that, please inbox me. I'll go ahead and give you my email address at iFluxy right now. That is adam@ifluxy.com. Feel free to shoot screenplay ideas, show ideas, about anything that you can imagine. Go ahead and shoot it on over to me because I'm here to help and be a part of whatever is a good idea. Now, I might turn down your idea. Don't take it to heart. It might just be because I don't have enough time, or it's not. I don't grasp onto your vision. That's not a bad thing. Your vision is yours. So definitely feel free. Again, the email address, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the phonetics. It is Alpha Delta Alpha Man at Frank Lima Umbrella X-Ray Yellow.com. That is ADAM at ifluxy.com. So shoot me over those emails, send me those Facebook messages. I'm here to collaborate with any brilliant minds, and we can make some stuff happen for you. And if not, if you're here supporting, giving me a share, please give us shares. Please give us likes on all of the iFluxy things. We could definitely use that at any point. MMA Power Hours is rather successful, and hopefully Lionfist Live will get there too. I mean, this is more fun for me doing the Lionfist Live, being able to catch people up, and also being able to touch on the important issues to me when it comes to business. And again, that breakthrough is a big thing for me. You know, a little personal insight into the breakthrough process for me. You know, when I was in college, I was dealing with a bunch of different things. Really, I was going to school for graphic design and production operations management and also business. And you know, I jumped around a little bit and I really couldn't find my niche, but at the same time, I was doing graphic design work. And I found some success with some musicians and some bands, and I started doing stuff for the musicians and bands design wise, and it was a lot of work. But then I realized that these musicians really weren't grasping onto the business. And I did because of the graphic design work. Now, I am a creative, but when you're doing graphic design work, you've got to do, as a freelancer anyways, you've got to go out and manage your entire career. You've got to do all the paperwork. You've got to set yourself up as a business. You've got to do all the tax work, and especially starting out when you can't afford to have a bunch of people doing things for you. That's where I kind of got started in entertainment and production slowly. Eventually, I ended up working in a little venue in Iowa, which has expanded into one of the largest venues for getting together and for the arts. But I was doing live audio mixing and sound engineering. And with that and managing musicians, I eventually learned all the production techniques that I needed to for audio. And while I was there, I was actually invited to go onto a podcasting show, which sure enough, you know, when I was like 16 years old, I've said this before to some people, I went ahead and created my own live stream software of sorts. It's not quite what we have today to where I'm sitting here using Facebook, but I can tell you it's really, really similar to everything that's out there right now. The base code, a lot of it I was doing, you know, so I was kind of ahead of the curve and ahead of the times. I used my parents' VCR recorder. It was a VHS recorder, a giant thing that, you know, I don't know, it was probably about 2 foot long, and you know, the video quality wasn't even anything close to what we have today, and little cameras this big, you know, the size of a $50 or so. You know, right now we have this camera called the Flea that's been out for quite a while. It's an HD camera, and that company makes a 4K camera, and I think they even have an 8K camera now, which seems to be the new thing. But anyways, my point being, I was getting into this stuff before the quality was really even there. And, you know, because of that, I'm able to go ahead and understand how it works to build and make things happen. And in the process of learning this stuff, I've kind of got other opportunities that I've realized I had to go ahead and seize. You know, I keep getting breakthrough after breakthrough, but they're little tiny breakthroughs. It's not tons of money coming in. It's not tons of prestige or you know, a lot of you. I'm watching you, my Facebook friends. I'm really watching you, my YouTube followers. I'm really watching you and noticing a lot of you are chasing that interview. You're chasing the media, but your product is not something that's really growing. Yes, people are talking good about you, but your product is not really growing. And you think that breakthrough is that media. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been there. I've done it. I've been a part of the media, and then that's where I'm at right now. I work the media, and I can tell you, if your product is not there, and it's not, or service is not there, either one of the two, if you're doing that, you're not going to get that breakthrough that you've been looking for. You may think you have something, but if it's not disruptive, you're probably not going to get to that point where you're actually able to live up to the hype that you've created for yourself. I have been there. I've been known to be the guy in the past to fluff my feathers a little bit. And that's something you need to be really careful with as an entrepreneur, because later you'll get hit with that founder's depression so hard, it's going to hurt. You really need to step back and look at the full spectrum of what you're trying to do. Now, I tell people a lot of the time, go ahead and create that most amazing future. Put it down in writing, what you think your most amazing future will be. Now, you're going to sit there and wonder how to get there and how that breakthrough is going to happen. And everybody, when they start out with a new business, is wondering when they're going to get that break. Some people go out and chase the break. Some people try to create that break for themselves, which is the wisest way to do it. And then others really just are really not even looking for the breakthrough and just kind of pushing forward one day at a time, which is not a bad way to do it either, but you may not ever get to that point of true excellence with the product. You need, a lot of you are setting the bar here. You need to be setting the bar here. You need to go as high as you can with your bar setting, and you really need to go for gold. You really need to go for the top, and there's no reason you shouldn't. It's there, and you don't need to chase the breakthrough, but it's going to happen, and you're going to feel it. It's going to hurt, and the reality that I keep saying is that breakthrough is something that takes a little bit of time, and you may not understand what it is. And I can tell you right now, my breakthrough was being invited in on something because a friend introduced me to it, and this is in the film world, and now I'm starting to get credits built up. All the stuff that I was doing between 5 and 3 years ago, I'm really starting to see the payout now, and a lot of you are starting to see that too. And in the process, the last laugh, I get it. A lot of you thought that I wasn't doing this, and not necessarily the people listening today, but there's a lot of people out there that were thinking that I was not doing the things that I have been. And then I've had a few supporters that have been there by my side. They've watched me do it, stay up late at night through the wee hours. Dina, if you're watching, you're one of my biggest supporters. You gave me a couch at one point because I had some stuff happening, and you know what? I love you for it. I owe you the world, and we'll be getting together sometime in the next year or so as the payout start happening. But you're one of the people that stood by my side, and you'll always get a shout out for that. There's a lot of you out there as well that have done it a little more quietly, not quite as obvious way, but I'll never forget, and entrepreneurs will never forget. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because these things that I was doing, that nobody was really seeing what I was doing, I was told so many times. I remember I went out one time at a bar in Des Moines with a bunch of people, and all I heard was a bunch of bad talk about me, actually, because everybody was telling me that I was lying about being a producer, that I was lying about being a promoter, that I was lying about being a band manager in the past. And let's get real about it. I was doing it all. I was doing it all. Now, there are times where I was fluffing my feathers to make people believe that, so I understand that. But what I'm fully capable of doing, these people were not seeing what I was fully capable of doing, and some of that's my fault. But majority of it is because I was actually working on things that took time, and I was not looking for the breakthrough at that point. I knew it was the breakthrough. I harnessed it, and I knew it was going to be a rough road. So I had to make tons of sacrifices. I had to not go for for being lifted up and being put on a pedestal. I had to go for a lot of people dismissing my efforts, and I knew the whole time, and I had to remind myself, and I was posting about it on Facebook, and I was doing all the things that all the successful people I want to be like told me to do. I was listening to all my mentors. I was listening to all of the brilliant business minds that I've surrounded myself with over the years, and I was able to go ahead and push forward and make that breakthrough happen. And it was just somebody put an opportunity in front of me. It was one that majority of people would have looked at and laughed at and said, you know what? This is damn near impossible. I'm not even going to try. It's going to take way too much work. Well, I sat there and looked at it and realized this is my break. This is my break. Now, I remember speaking on the phone with my biological mother shortly after I got this offer, because there was a bunch of other stuff going on too, just finally figuring out my biological father, being able to discuss with him for the first time and stuff. So we were on the phone quite a bit, but I was talking to her about my situation that had happened, and she's like, oh, wow, you basically just won the lottery. Wow. Adam, wow. And she helped it kind of click in my head, and I hope that we can all surround ourselves with people that will kind of do things like that to help us understand that breakthrough is sometimes just an offer to go ahead and do something. Now, since then, I can tell you a lot of people have kind of felt like I didn't follow through or something like that, but I followed through, and now it's starting to be a little more obvious. I followed through. It just takes time. In the world of film, your average film takes anywhere from 3 to 7 years to go from idea to production, and sometimes 2 to 3 years after that, or even longer sometimes, for the actual production to complete. And in the distribution process, being able to sell the film, being able to get it out, it takes a while. It takes a long time to get it out there. So those of you who are looking to get into entertainment and film, television shows, kind of the same way. It can take a lot of time to get an idea, go from idea to product. It takes a lot of time, for an accessible product in entertainment to really come to fruition. So if you're looking to do that, definitely hit me up. Maybe I can help you out, maybe expedite the process a little bit. There's a few of you who I know check in and listen to some of these episodes and are able to help out as well. Definitely, let's all get together and create a cooperative here, but it's there. We can help bring that breakthrough for you, but you're going to have to put in the work and understand that breakthrough in any industry is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a rough one. If you're setting the bar way up here instead of just right down here, you're gonna be going through a lot. It's gonna hurt. It's going to hurt, and it's not going to feel like a breakthrough. It's going to feel like quite the opposite. So you've got to face the reality that when you go out and set the bar high enough for yourself to actually excel, it's going to hurt, and you have to work harder than anybody else around you, or it's going to at least appear that way. And hopefully you really are, because if you really are, there's no way you're going to fail. You might fail and make some mistakes along the way, but that's great, actually. You should learn from that, and that's only going to make you stronger. That's what's going to make you a champion. That's what's going to put that gold medal around your neck, and that's whether you're an athlete. That's, maybe someday I'll get an Oscar. I've got it in my Most Amazing Future plan that I'm going to go ahead and turn around and win an Oscar. You don't have to believe me. I'm gonna effing do it. I'm going to fucking do it. Excuse my language, but I don't care right now, because I've had so many people tell me that I can't do all of these things, and here I am doing them the whole time. I realize that I can set my bar high. Now, I hope you can too, because there's no reason you can't. I know a lot of you out there that pay attention are in media, or are sculptors or artists that are painting, or I've got one friend on my friends list, and somebody that I've been friends with for quite a while, actually in person. He is a very, very talented painter, one of the most talented painters I've ever known in my life. Very well known. A lot of celebrities buy his artwork, and right now one thing that he's been doing to improve his life is daily for a year he's doing these left-handed drawings, and they're amazing, and you just see the improvements every single day. That's the kind of stuff you need to be doing, is taking these small little steps every day to improve on what you're doing, and share it with the world. Share your successes with the world. A lot of people might see it as something as kind of an arrogance or something. It's not being arrogant. It's really not. Acknowledge the gifts that God gave you. Acknowledge gifts that you were born with. Utilize them and share them with the world, and be proud that you have these gifts. There is no problem with that. And that's one of the issues you're going to have in looking for your breakthrough. You've got to put yourself out there. If you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to have that breakthrough that you need to that you're looking for. You just can't get it by sitting there being using this false humility, like, oh, I'm just a small nobody. None of you are a small nobody. You're all amazing people with some sort of talent. Some of you, it might just be you're a great mother. Well, hey, be a great mother. Be the best mother ever. Do it. That's great. To me, that's a business. You're raising employees at home doing chores for you, but that's there's a lot better things about kids too. But some of us have goals that are really important, and you got to set that bar high, and you're going to have to understand the breakthrough is going to hurt. It's going to suck. The process is going to suck, but it makes it so worth it in the end, because you are going to have that breakthrough, and you've got to acknowledge the breakthrough is not as pretty as you think it is. That breakthrough is not $1 million jackpot. It is an opportunity to work harder. That's the key. That breakthrough, when it comes, it's going to look like tons of hard work. And there's no way around it. No matter how you look at it, it is going to look like hard work, because it is. Your breakthrough is going to require you to, and I'm going to steal this from Steve Harvey, it's going to require you to jump off that cliff and just hope that your parachute opens up without checking it, without testing it out first. You're just going to have to jump and hope that your parachute opens up. And maybe there's a safety net down there, maybe not. You might fall, and you might just hit that ground hard, and you might have to just pick yourself up and piece everything back together, and it's going to really hurt. That little ambulance ride, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully you survive it, because that's part of the breakthrough. That just jumping is part of the breakthrough. Jumping and taking that risk and throwing everything to the wind and hoping that that parachute really just opens up when you pull that cord, that's everything. That is your breakthrough moment. That is what's going to drive you to be able to make your most amazing future happen for you. Your most amazing future. I got that idea and that concept from this guy named Gerard, a great guy, funny-looking guy. I'm going to be real about it. He always has a bow tie, and he actually inspired me to start wearing bow ties quite a bit, and I do it still to this day. But one of my great mentors that I've been able to learn from in the world of business, he sat us down, a bunch of us, and made us write out what our most amazing future looked like. Was it nice cars, a nice house? Was it extra time with the family? Was it vacations? Was it experiences? And to me, everybody, just so you are aware, when I'm thinking of my most amazing future, I'm thinking of plenty of experiences. I do also want to be able to have the experience of relaxing in a nice, decent home by the ocean. It's a big deal to me. I've wanted to work for it, and I am. I'm working hard for it. Now I've been able to live in the hills because of somebody else that came along in my life and offered up the opportunity. I took it. I was able to live in the Hollywood Hills for a moment. I'm going to be moving back there. Now I've got a connection I'm able to use. So there's a lot of stuff out there that you're going to recognize and see as opportunity in your own lives, kind of similar to what I have. And you've got to seize them. You've got to seize them. Now, do everything you can to push ahead and work hard and excel and be the best that you can at everything that you do. Make sure along the way you're hurting as few people as possible. Now, there's no way to keep everybody satiated and satisfied, but there is a way to make sure that you're not hurting people and you're doing right by others. It's a little thing called integrity. And now nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes. People will be hurt. It's the way it goes in life. And if you try to avoid it 100%, you won't be able to. That's just the way human nature is. So acknowledge that, realize that, and be a little greedy, but not too greedy. Understand that experience is what you're going after. If you're just going for money and that's it, your breakthrough probably won't happen. And I'm going to tell you why right now. It's because money, if you're one of these people that digs for money, and this is something that's discussed quite a bit out here in Los Angeles. If you're going for money and that's it, you have nothing else behind you, people can see through that. They can smell greed on that level so hard, it's ridiculous. Now, if you're upfront and honest and say, hey, you know what, I'm doing this for money, but I'm also doing this because I need to get this done. Hey, here's one thing. I've been in a situation where I want to be able to go meet my biological brother and sister, half brother and half sister over in Germany. I haven't had the opportunity to meet up with them. They've been in the United States a couple times to Texas. I'm always out in Los Angeles. The closest I've been was in Missouri when I lived there for a while. Time-wise, it didn't work out. And then I remember I went down to Texas one time, and they were going to be there about the same time, but not quite. I just missed them, and I had business that I had to take care of, and it was so painful for me to not be able to meet up with my biological family. It was one of the most painful things ever. But in order for me to be able to spend time with them and to be able to truly get to know them and do all of this, it does unfortunately cost money. So I've put it out there with my situations that, listen, I need to make this money so that I can go meet my biological family. I need to make this money so that I can go ahead and create a better life for myself and my future family. I need to make this money. And that's why I'm doing this right now. That's why I'm doing this job that I don't want to do, is because I need to make this money to make my business excel, my business that I'm able to do what I love doing. You hear what I'm saying? It's not about the money. It's about what the money is able to actually help get done. That is a reality that we have to face, not just in a capitalist society. A lot of you will sit here and go off on the capitalist society and capitalism being the issue. No. Capitalism isn't the issue. The reality is that we have an idea of value, and I don't think we're ever going to be able to get rid of that. And I don't want to get rid of that, because there is value for hard work. There is value for effort. There is value for intelligence and being able to make everything come together. Some people aren't gifted with as much intelligence as other people, but that's fine. Then you put in the hard effort in an area where you truly were gifted. Everybody has a gift. I am convinced of that. You have a gift. I have a gift. Every single one of you and everybody else out there has a gift and has the ability to excel and succeed on levels that nobody else does, because you are able to put forward that effort and you are able to have that satisfaction of working your tail off. It will pay out. It doesn't happen within 1 or 2 or 3 years. To all you college grads, recent college grads that have been whining for the last 4 years that, oh, we have no jobs, you know what? That's bullshit. You have jobs. Create a job. I've been doing it for 10 years. Don't tell me that. Don't whine to me. Don't cry to me about this stuff. You're able to make a job for yourself. You're able to push forward, work hard, and get stuff done. I come from a place called Iowa. If you know anything about Iowa, it's a land of hard work and great work ethic. Now, if you're from there and you're still whining, I don't know why, because you should be the ones to acknowledge, and you are the people who are able and fully capable of doing what majority of people cannot. You go anywhere else in the country and you see this. It is blatantly obvious. Hard work, good work ethic, it will get you somewhere. I've met so many people from the town that I grew up in out here in Southern California. It's funny how things work. I've met so many of these people, and they've all decided to leave their little bubble and go ahead and try out working hard. And guess what's happened? These people have all excelled. They are at the top of the industries. There's one person that bounced back and forth between Pella, Iowa and Des Moines, Iowa for a little while. Just got the story on him. He's been a writer to some of the biggest films out there. He's been a producer on a couple very large products. One of my favorite television shows as a kid or a teenager was on air and for quite a while on USA Network. One of my favorite adult cartoons was written and executive produced mostly by this guy from small town Iowa, who worked his tail off, and everybody told him the same things that they told me. You can't do it. This guy has numerous Emmys. This guy has numerous projects that are out there that are just huge money makers. And it's not even about the money. It's about the fact that nobody thought he could do it. And he came out to somewhere other than where he's from and created a breakthrough for himself. He ignored what everybody was telling him. He realized the opportunity was there for him to work his tail off, and he knew that if he could work his tail off, he would go ahead and reach his goals. He's done that. He's surpassed them. He's done it multiple times, and he's going to keep doing it. Now, coming from Pella, Iowa, there's actually, interestingly, probably about 5 or 6 people from that town that have turned around and done some really big things in the media world. This is a town of 10,000 people, and I'm talking in the more recent future too. There's quite a few others out there, but these are people that I've met in the last 2 years that I had no clue were succeeding. I didn't know they were from Iowa. I didn't know this was even going on, but it's provided me enough stories to understand that breakthrough is all about the work. It's all about the effort that you're going to put forward. And we need to sit back and really look as entrepreneurs, 98% of the time, we need to sit back and look at the truth that's right in front of us. And it's not that our breakthrough is going to be an easy little handout. We're not going to get a handout and get our breakthrough. We're not going to get a handout and have any value. To get value, you have to give value. I truly believe that. To get value, you have to give value. Now, this is in your personal relationships. This is in your work relationships. This is in any kind of relationship that you can imagine. In order to get value, you have to bring something to the table that means something to somebody else. You will not get a handout and get your breakthrough. That is not a breakthrough. Catching a break is not a breakthrough. There's a big difference. Now, that word became abbreviated by a lot of people because catching your break was an idea of, hey, you know what? I'm going to be discovered in this small venue in the middle of Missouri, the middle of Iowa, the middle of Kansas, wherever you're at. I'm going to be found and discovered there while singing. Well, that's great. But do you realize that that breakthrough that you are getting is actually because you are consistently putting yourself out there? And in the process of consistently putting yourself out there and working and improving your craft, you are also, instead of setting your bar here, you are setting your bar here, because you've got to be able to see that opportunity when it's right in front of you to be able to work harder. Because once you do get that opportunity, or that break that you're hoping for, actually means a lot more hard work. You're not being ignored. You are ignoring yourself if you are just searching for that break. Nobody's going to see you if you are just waiting for that break to happen. Nobody's going to come around and just give you something when they don't see you. It's not possible for somebody to go ahead and do that because they don't see you. They don't know you exist. And that's at no fault to their own. That is your fault for not putting yourself out there. You're not bragging by saying, I do this. You're not bragging by saying, my gifts are great. Thank God for my gifts. They are amazing. I wouldn't know where I would be or what I would be doing if it wasn't for the people around me. Be humble, but don't use false humility as an excuse to not accomplish the things you want to do. Your breakthrough is going to come from being able to put yourself out there. And you're going to upset people, but you're never going to be able to keep everybody happy. If you're a people pleaser, you're not meant to be in business. I can tell you that right now. You want to keep people satisfied, but you're not supposed to sit here and satisfy every single person, because you have to face the reality that you in business need to make a profit to be able to pay for other people's bills, to be able to build your business, to be able to make your vision grow. Money doesn't have to be a bad thing. And I hear it from so many people that money is an evil thing. Well, those are the people that don't understand the breakthrough process. They don't understand the idea of putting out value in order to receive value. I don't know what else to say on this subject, really, boys and girls. There's just so many things I can go off on for days with this. The business is a whole different beast than anything else. And there's no way that we can sit here and expect to go ahead and keep everybody happy in the process. So many people are looking for that. Listen, I've ignored the advice of so many people only because they weren't doing what I was. They were sitting there telling me that I was a failed producer. They were sitting there telling me that I was a failed entrepreneur. But they weren't doing it. They were not putting themselves out there. They were not doing it. And if they were sitting there quietly doing something at home, they didn't move as quickly as me, because I was out putting myself out there. I was telling people I was doing these things that I was doing. I was also going ahead and making sure that whenever I got an opportunity, I would do my due diligence and I would take it. And the majority of the time when I got started out, you know what, listen, I've told people, hey, I've got an opportunity. I'm going to be doing this and this. There's times it fell apart. So what? You know, I used to get defensive about that. I'd be like, you know what, I'm not lying. This shit happened. And I would sit there and get super, super defensive. And sometimes I would get mad because they didn't believe me, and I couldn't figure out why they didn't believe me. It's because I didn't see it. So what? Who cares? They couldn't see it. But that doesn't mean it wasn't happening. I was actually putting myself out there and producing and making all of these things happen. And now, because of that, I'm right here doing it right now. You look at me, you see me doing it. This is stuff that I've known how to do for at least, over 15 years. So I've been doing this for quite a while. I've been doing it. And when it comes to the actual business knowledge and stuff, yeah, I've had to learn along the way. And yes, I was going to make some mistakes, but that doesn't mean I wasn't doing it. I definitely was doing it. And I've done a lot of right things and I've done a lot of wrong things. And I'm proud of both. I'm proud of messing up. I had the courage to do it. I had the courage to understand that my breakthrough was me working my tail off. It was not somebody sitting there telling me, oh, this isn't going to work, or you know what, your way of doing this is just not right. You shouldn't do it. And then turning around and being like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. I shouldn't do it anymore. I didn't pee myself. I've got to thank a couple of my wrestling coaches for a lot of helping me understand that. You've got to shoot for the top. You've got to envision it. You've got to work hard for it. You cannot stop. You have to go, 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 go. And you're going to lose. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to really just not be the best sometimes, but you've got to always try to be your fucking best. It's not about sitting around and waiting for a break. It's about creating your breakthrough, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to go through depression, and you're going to have people telling you that you're not doing it right. I don't know how many times I have to say this to so many people, but that is exactly what it is. We don't get to decide that our breakthrough is just a break. Nobody's going to come up to you and hand you $5 million just because you deserve it, because you don't. You don't deserve it. We all have shitty lives. We all have horrible things going on in the background. Pull your head out of your ass if you really think that somebody's going to go ahead and do that, because you're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest with how life works. It hurts. It's really a painful process for everybody. Nobody has it worse than anybody. Well, I can't say that, but there's always somebody that's going to have it worse off than you. And there's always going to be somebody who has it worse off than you and makes it towards the top and actually accomplishes what you wanted to. There's over 7 billion people in this world, and if you think for 1 second about that there is somebody else out there going through something worse than you and digging themselves out and clawing their ways to the top, why shouldn't you realize that you can do the same thing? And you don't have to hurt people in the process, because majority of these people are being good people to get there. I've witnessed it. I've gone from bottom feeder all the way to the top. And I've fallen, and I'm clawing my way back there to the top. And it's by being a good person, and it's about being honest with yourself and with others. And you don't need to be angry along the way. I've been there. A lot of people know me as somebody who's been very angry. I've had my blow-ups. I've done some stupid shit in my life. I'm not a perfect person, but I do know that the opportunities that actually, when they come about, it's because I'm being a good person, and the people around me who are accepting my opportunities that I can bring to the table and my value are being good people to other people as well. And I'm talking, there's some really big names, boys and girls, that I've been able to talk with, and it's all about being good to other people and understanding that opportunity in front of you and being able to work hard. It's not even about being a leader, but it is at the same time, because you've got to show others that you're a good person to make them go ahead and realize, hey, you know what? It's time to be a good person. It's time to share my work ethic with the world. It's time to go ahead and seize the opportunities in front of me and share them with everybody else that's around me that's been good to me along the way. You don't have to totally dismiss everybody that hasn't been good to you along the way. Some people still deserve a chance. Some people still deserve something. Give it to them. Not every single time, but really weigh it out. Do your due diligence on everything. And understanding what your breakthrough is involves tons and tons of due diligence. Tons of hard work, tons of making mistakes, tons of learning. You don't get everything handed to you on a silver platter with silver spoons. It's just not the way it works. You've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. Or maybe not that, like, even I don't even do that. I wake up late some mornings, but that's because I went to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning. And you're going to have your downtimes. I had last month, I have been battling this depression real hard, founder's depression, trying to pull myself out of it, and it's been really difficult. But my standard day over the years has been waking up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, dressing up, putting myself in a suit, and going to work. And, I was going to work every single day. I've been going to work every single day for the purpose of finding my most amazing future and being able to utilize my breakthrough to my advantage. It happened years ago, and it's taken years to come to fruition. Yes, somebody called me up and offered something up, but it was not just, oh, hey, you literally won the lottery. It was, hey, you, knock, knock, Lionfist, hey, you. I got a bunch of hard work for you to do, and the bar is way up here. You think you can do it? You have the opportunities. You have everything in front of you. You have everything there. And the reason I had everything there is because I've been working hard in different areas. Things brought me into a different area, a different, I guess, genre of work. But it's beautiful. I love it. I'm able to, it came back around. It came back around to be what I always imagined it would be. It's all come together on its own because I knew it took tons of hard work and I knew I had this stuff here. You can do the exact same thing and there's absolutely no reason you can't. Get off your ass, do some hard work, stop making excuses for yourself, stop making excuses for other people, and stop tearing other people down in the process. That's something that's pissed me off about some of you, is you do tear other people down. It may not be me, but you know what? It's not going to do you any good to do that. Build people up, because we're all amazing people with amazing talents. We're all gifted with something. We're all fully capable of going ahead and making this world a better place. Just do it. Just be a good person. Bring your gifts to the world. Shine bright. Not to sound corny, because it's not corny. You've got to shine as bright as you can. There is no sitting around watching Netflix on these binges for months on end, or any time they have the new releases. Allow yourself to do that every now and then, but you can't be doing it all the time. You've got to be working. Your breakthrough is not going to come while you're watching Netflix. It just won't. Your breakthrough is going to come when you've just sat there and worked so hard and basically passed out, but then forced yourself, instead of passing out, you worked harder. And you worked so hard that you did literally just crash. I've fallen asleep at my desk before. I've fallen asleep right here trying to get things set up. I fell asleep testing everything out when I was getting this stuff set up in this studio. You should be doing the same thing. When you have an idea and a concept and you really feel good about it and you want a breakthrough with it, you're going to have to work your tail off. I did not get that breakthrough until after I passed out here. I did not get it until I literally put in 120 hours in 1 week and passed out right here. I had 2 meals that week by choice because I had to get my work done. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't the right decision in the end to not eat, but the sleep deprivation and the working hard and going, that's when I got my breakthrough. That's when people started taking me seriously, and that's when they'll start taking you seriously. Not to say I haven't done that in the past, because I have a lot, but every time I've done that, I've been able to see some light at the end of the tunnel. When I'm working my, I'd say hard, but not so hard that I'm really just, nobody can keep up. If I'm not working that hard, I'm not really having the breakthrough process anymore. Every single time I lose myself because I'm not working hard enough to actually see that light. I'm not working hard enough to keep up with those who are actually doing what I want to be doing. And you should really be putting that into your own little picture. You should really be, I mean, one of these days, I feel like I'm going to have to pull out the crayons for some people to really draw this out and make it make sense. But it's there. It's obvious. Work, 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 work. It may not be job work, but work at what you love. Bring value to the table. And if you don't feel that you can bring value to the table, don't expect value to be brought to you. You've got to create a way to bring value to the table 90% of the time. There are nepotists out there. I do believe that. There are some people that get stuff handed to them, but the world's an unfair place. Just deal with it. Because there are people, tons of people out there that are excelling every day and able to reach their most amazing future because, very specifically, because they work so flipping hard. They are persistent. and they have integrity. And part of integrity is actually doing what you say you're doing, not caring whether people believe you. It's about doing what's behind closed doors. It's not about what they see. So when you sit here and look at other people and you say, oh, well, they have this and that and they got that, you don't know what they did. You don't know what they did to get where they are. I was speaking with somebody recently about West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, the Hollywood Hills area, and they're like, yeah, there's a sense of pretentiousness about these people. I don't really like this area. You know what? I've lived there. I know a lot of people over there. Majority of people that are in some of these nicer areas, majority of them that are living there long term, not just for 1 year. Majority of them are actually great people that have worked their tails off to get there. It may have looked easy from your perspective, but that's because you didn't see what was going on behind closed doors. They created their breakthrough, which was tons of hard work. It wasn't easy for them, and it will never be easy for anybody else who isn't a nepotist. There's just not enough people out there for it to be a true nepotist thing. There's not enough people that have worked as hard as I've talked about to be able to create a future for their families in the ways that I'm talking about. But if you're forward thinking and you really think that there's that issue going on in the world where nepotism is running everything and you don't get a chance because there's all these nepotists that control everything and make it impossible, well, you're just creating excuses. You've got to understand their grandparents or their parents or their great-grandparents, if it's old money and really old money, somebody worked hard, really hard. They seized the opportunity. They created their breakthrough. It wasn't something that was just put onto a plate and handed to them. So that's my rant for the day. I really appreciate everybody that's tuned in today. It means the world. I'm here to bring you advice every week on business. I'm here to talk relevant stuff. I'm also here to talk irrelevant stuff. Majority of the time it will be business, and I am looking for guests. There will be other times it's more on a personal level. Here next week, I will be speaking with an old friend of mine. I'll be bringing him on live. We are going to be discussing a little bit about depression and anxiety. One of my past episodes inspired him to reach out to me and wanted to come on and kind of talk about the realities of facing that. And we'll probably talk other things. I know this guy well enough. We'll be shooting the shit. We'll be having fun. Maybe even talk some guns. He's somebody that I love to talk guns with. Yeah, let's just go ahead and be good people, work hard, understand your breakthrough isn't just going to be free. It's not going to be a handout. It's not going to be something that is just all fun and games. There's absolutely no way for that to just happen for every person on the globe. It's not going to be all a bunch of handouts and complete equality and just a walk on the beach. So all my Lionfist listeners, I am out for the week. And until next week, work hard. Set your goals for yourself. Realize that your breakthrough is going to be coming, but you've got to create it for yourself. Your goals need to be set higher, and you need to work backwards a little bit. Reverse engineer. Keep putting in that effort. I love you all my people from Iowa, all my people from California and Missouri, everybody over on the East Coast, my Cleveland friends, those of you over in Florida, and those of you over in Europe that are paying attention. I love you. Deuces.
Founded in 1969, Fuji Sports is your #1 source for gis and grappling gear, specializing in superb customer service and high-quality judo and jiu-jitsu uniforms at competitive prices. Fuji Sports is a proud manufacturing partner with many established organizations throughout the world, and is also a proud sponsor of U.S. Olympians, BJJ World Champions, and MMA superstars. Fuji Sports offers gis, rash guards, t-shirts, backpacks, shorts, gloves, and more. Visit fujisports.com to buy or customize your own gear today.
Amazing! Welcome to Lionfist. Lionfist. Lionfist Live. It's like a lion roars. Duh.
I don't get it.
Bringing you a bunch of random stuff today.
I really don't care. No, really. I don't care.
Keeping things relevant every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific time here on Lionfist Live. This is Lionfist, only on iFluxy.
Seriously?